Bienvenidos a la clase de español. ¡Ja! Yo me llamo Profe Brum y este es mi amigo. Es una piñata fiesta. Bienvenidos a la clase de español. Significa en inglés, welcome to the class of Spanish. Oh, welcome to Spanish class, we might say in English. La palabra clase, the word clase, is what we call a cognate, because it looks similar in two different languages. Clase in Spanish looks like the word class in English. It looks and sounds similar. These are words that we call cognates. There are a lot of cognates between English and Spanish, making Spanish a relatively easy language to learn if your first language is English. This is a list of cognates between English and Spanish, specifically in the context of food. As you can see, there are several. Hamburguesa, hamburger. Limón, lemon. Sal, salt. Ensalada, salad. And the list goes on and on. There are literally thousands and thousands of cognates between English and Spanish. We will see many of them through the semester in Spanish 1. The reason for this is, although English is a Germanic language, it borrows a lot of Latin roots and Latin prefixes, words with Latin origins. In Spanish, being a Romance language, is a direct derivative from Latin. So that's where English and Spanish have something in common. And we will see, again, many words in Spanish that look a lot like a word in English. Of course, there are so many interesting topics that we will get into throughout this semester. But for now, let me introduce myself one more time. Me llamo Profe Brum. Yo soy Profe Brum. Mi nombre es Profe Brum. And I am going to be your maestro, your profesor, your instructor, your teacher this semester. See? And I am so excited to join you in your quest to acquire the Spanish language. And I know that this semester is a strange semester. We are indeed going through unprecedented times. We are maybe making history right now for the most awkward school year in history. I am not sure if that's a fact, but we are definitely going through a strange scenario here. And as much as we wish we could change the situation, there is not a whole lot that we can do here besides wear our mask, socially distance, and follow the guidelines set up by the experts in the health organizations here, Pennington County Health Commissioner, state of Minnesota. So we will follow those guidelines. But there's one more thing that we could bear in mind, and it is the motto of Costa Rica. Costa Rica dice, pura vida. Pura vida.
Costa Rica dice pura vida.
That's what they say in Costa Rica. Pura vida means pure life, but they say it in the context of like no worries, just be happy, like be thankful for what you have. There's always something positive. So that's something that if you're in Costa Rica, it's just a phrase that you can throw out there at any time and really any conversation. Pura vida, man. See? Así que let's all sit back, relax, and think about, some of the positives in our lives. Like I said, we're going through rough times right now, but we could definitely have it worse. So be thankful for what we do have. So when you do get the opportunity to be in my classroom once every 3 days, you will notice that I have probably the most colorful classroom in the school, and the things on my walls that make my classroom colorful are all meant to be used on a daily basis to keep the Spanish class in the target language. I really encourage you to try your best from the very beginning to utilize as much Spanish as possible. I don't want to say only Spanish from the beginning. That might be kind of challenging, but maybe by the 4th or 5th week, you can challenge yourself to say only Spanish. And even from the beginning, keeping things in Spanish, greeting people and saying farewell. As we go on, I have a lot of common verb walls. Here are 16 verbs that are very common. I have another 15 that are hanging from the center of the classroom. I have some helper verbs that are on the brick wall on the west edge of my classroom, some subject pronouns, and much, much more. And again, these are all meant for you to look at on a daily basis and try to construct sentences using Spanish. And this comes from a method of repeated exposure to new language, creating long-term memories. So the more times you look over at one of my walls where you know there's a word that you need to use, and every time you want to use that word, you look over on the wall to find it. After doing that so many times, it becomes so repetitive that it just turns into a memory, and eventually we no longer have to look over to find the word because it's now in our brains as a hopefully long-term memory. So again, all of the posters on my walls are meant to be used on a daily basis. They will always be up there. And for those of you, the 2/3 that aren't in class every day, I will have them all posted under the materials section of Google Classroom as well. I know it's not as handy to have to click into a folder and find them when you want to use them, but again, they are there and you are encouraged to use them on a daily basis. I am going to show just a few examples right now of how you could use some of these posters from day one to use as much Spanish as possible from the beginning of the semester. So you'll notice on the window exiting my classroom, I have saludos, greetings, and despedidas, farewells. So when you walk into my classroom each day, you could greet me. Instead of saying, "Good morning, profe," you could say, "Buenos dias," good morning. Instead of saying, "Hi," You could say hola. Instead of saying, hey, how are you today? You could say, ¿Cómo estás? Or ¿Qué tal? Or what's up? ¿Qué pasa? See? If you have me in the afternoon, you could walk in and say, Buenas tardes. So these expressions, again, are on the wall for you to utilize. And then as you're exiting my classroom, instead of saying bye, you could say adios. Or you could say hasta pronto, see you soon, nos vemos, see you later, hasta mañana, see you tomorrow, hasta luego, later dude, see? Hasta luego, amigo, see? Excelente. So most of us do know some Spanish. We have some exposure, and not just cognates. Yeah, we can recognize cognates. If we saw the word hamburguesa written out, we would have no doubt that it means the word hamburger. But a lot of us know words like piñata means. What is a piñata? Well, we break them open to get candy at parties. You might know what a fiesta is, a party. See? You might recognize the word amigo, friend. See? But we also know words like hola, adios. You've probably heard gracias. See? So we all have a little bit of background knowledge dealing with Spanish. And this is because our neighbors, right, to the south, Mexico, speak Spanish as their first language. And we have a lot of people in our country that, speak Spanish and English, or speak perhaps more Spanish than English, right? We have a Mexican restaurant in town. If you've ever gone and eaten there, you'll notice that their menu is primarily in Spanish. And, just the pop culture of our country, we've been exposed to a lot of the language in our daily lives. A poster that I like to go over with class from time to time is this one. And I like you guys to say it along with me. Because, again, regardless of our experience with the language, some of us may have more than others. We all, I think, know un poco, see? Whether it's hola y adios, whether it's we know what a piñata is, or we've eaten at a Mexican restaurant and know what a taco and a burrito is, verdad? We all have a little bit of experience. So I like to go through this one with the class, and you guys go through the motions with me as well. You say, yo hablo un poco de español. Ha. Yo quiero aprender más. Yo puedo hacerlo. Sí se puede. Sí se puede. Sí se puede. Sí se puede. Muy bien, muy bien. Let's try it one more time. Yo hablo un poco de español. Ha. Yo quiero aprender más. Yo puedo hacerlo. Sí se puede. Sí se puede. Sí se puede. Sí se puede. Muy bien, muy bien. Another poster that I'd like to walk you through from around my classroom is the emotions poster, las emociones. And you might wonder, well, why do I have to know, las emociones on a daily basis? Well, I will tell you. So a question that you will hear from me almost every day, starting on about the second or third day of class, is, ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? How are you? And when somebody asks you, ¿Cómo estás? How are you? You reply with estoy. And most people in Spanish, about as far as they get, what they remember from high school, what they've heard, from TV shows, what have you, is they can either say estoy bien or estoy mal. And sometimes they can say estoy más o menos. So I am well, estoy bien. I'm not well, estoy mal. Or I'm so-so, estoy más o menos, see? But when I ask you in class, ¿cómo estás? I think it would be really awesome if you could look over at the chart of las emociones and give me, a different answer each time, like estoy feliz or estoy cansado or estoy enfermo. Oops, no, if you're enfermo, you probably shouldn't be in school this semester anyways, right? Excelente. But again, the idea is use the colorful posters around my classroom to enhance your language on a daily basis. So, what is this? You might be wondering, why is he holding a ruler? I am holding a ruler because this, compañeros, is a rare occurring phenomenon of a word in English that has a double meaning, that has the same double meaning as the word does in Spanish. So a ruler, yes, for measuring, a ruler, but also the word in English, rule, like procedures, rules, classroom rules, right? Well, in Spanish, we call this una regla, a ruler for measuring, and also rules, reglas, rules. And again, they have measuring with a ruler has nothing to do with establishing procedure. Maybe in the olden days, whoopcha, hey, listen, whoopcha, whack somebody with a ruler for not listening to the rules. No, I don't think that's where it comes from. But I figured I had better go over my classroom procedures quickly in this video, and they're in Spanish. That's why I go over them in class. But computadoras, cognate, a computer, computadoras cerradas, closed. Computers closed when we're learning, okay? When we're working, they're probably going to be open, especially this semester, right? Now, if you're at home, yep, computadoras abiertas, computers open, that's how you're learning, right? But here in class, computadoras cerradas unless I ask you to have them out. See? Ojos, eyes, enfrente. Ojos enfrente, eyes in front, right? Teléfonos abajo, phones down. They can be out because we use them quite a bit. I might tell you there are some times where I say teléfonos en la mochila, in the backpack, but generally I just say teléfonos abajo because we use them for things like Kahoot, Gimkit, things like that. See? Orejas, ears, orejas abiertas. Open those ears up because you're going to be training your ears to listen for words in Spanish. That's what this class is all about, training your ears, right? And learning to mimic what you hear. Audífonos, if you have audífonos, afuera. Earbuds out, because that would go back to the other one. We want our ears open so that we can soak like sponges this language, right? So we want our audífonos, our headphones, afuera, out. Y bocas, bocas cerradas. Bocas cerradas. When profe is trying to teach something, let's make sure we have the bocas cerradas. Mouths closed, and then when it's time for you to practice, then bocas abiertas, mouths open, because then you will be practicing the language. But the reason I say bocas cerradas when I'm teaching is so that you're not distracting your compañeros, your classmates. Bien. A little bit about Google Classroom. We will be going over Google Classroom during class time, so I am going to keep this relatively short and simple. Here we are in period 3 Google Classroom. So if you're in period 5, your class code will be different, obviously. So this is period 3. When you go to classwork, you see on top, you will always have access to these materiales del curso. These are all cognates, materials of the course. You'll have your unit guides, some unit vocabulary, login for EMC, Flipgrid login, Duolingo login, and the course syllabus. So some of these are still works in progress. So if I were to click on them right now, they would not all be complete, but most of them are in the process of being finalized. As you scroll down, you'll notice I'm using topics this year. So some topics that you'll see so far, Semana Una, meaning week 1. So these are things that we're doing this week. If we were to click on week 1 lesson plans, you could see what we will be doing in class this week. So the first day of class, martes el 8 de septiembre, I can ask people their name, I can state my name. That's what we will be getting to eventually at the end of class today. And you'll just kind of see the agenda of what we're doing in class. Anything that you're kind of expected to do will always be hyperlinked. So Google Classroom, add yourself to the course. There's a hyperlink right there that will take you to the Google Classroom course. Assignment number 1 today, which you guys are working on right now, your Edpuzzle video, that's hyperlinked. And eventually we'll get into a note-taking type of assignment where you'll do some note-taking on asking people their names and saying your names, okay? Day 2, miércoles el 9 de septiembre, I can use a variety of expressions to greet and say farewell. You'll notice there'll be a Flipgrid assignment tomorrow, which will be linked there. It's an assignment. We'll get through some more practice. We'll have some small group practice, okay? So basically your lesson plans that are available here will, again, be a place to keep all of your assignments in one place. It's easier to keep track of this way, and things will be hyperlinked so that you can find them. And it's easier, like I say, to stay organized and keep things in order when we have it all in one place. Okay, now all of these assignments will also be accessible in Google Classroom. So if you just prefer logging into Google Classroom each day and clicking on your assignments, navigating it that way, that's okay too. But I like to have everything in one place on a document as well that you can peruse through and see everything in one place. Now, if it's Monday or Tuesday, I'm not going to hyperlink things that are, assignments for Friday because we haven't learned the stuff yet, okay? So we kind of take it 1 or 2 days at a time max. I know last semester some students were working ahead, like on Monday they were finishing the entire week's worth of assignments. That's not how it works in my class anyways. I'm not saying other classes will not function that way. All right, so we go back into Google Classroom. We'll see right away, we have a Flipgrid assignment for week 1 also. So this one is not worth points, but it is assigned in Google Classroom. So I do want to get to know a little bit about you. So if you could, click on that Flipgrid assignment, watch my video, and then record a similar video about yourself, that would be awesome. And you'll notice that tomorrow you will have another new assignment for week 1, which will be a Flipgrid, practicing saying your name, okay? So like I say, I add assignments as we go on in the week. I don't put everything that we will be doing on Monday because I don't want you working ahead so many days. But so far, this is what you can see in Google Classroom for week 1. Now, for materials of the course, unit guides. This is where you will go at the beginning of every unit to see your your unit guides. Let's see what a unit guide looks like here. For Unit 1, which we're starting right now, you'll see that you have all of your learning targets. I can introduce myself to another person. I can spell my name. I can greet and say farewell using a variety of expressions, etc., etc. Okay, and now you'll just basically have different ways of practicing the target language of the unit. Okay, the formatting in Google Docs doesn't always look the neatest, so if you open it in Microsoft Word, it will be a lot easier for you to, complete. I'll always have these printed out as well. So most of you will probably like to have a paper copy of these, but I do keep a digital copy. The only thing that I have to say about the platform here is that I create my things in Microsoft Word, and when I put them in the classroom, it shows you a preview in Google Docs. So again, that's why we have all this empty space, and then it kind of occupies half of another page. I recommend opening these in Microsoft Word. Okay, so that's a sample unit guide. You'll also see that we have unit vocabulary is another material of the course. So right now we are in Unit 1. And you'll see that for Unit 1, I have not uploaded the rest of the units yet. We'll get there. We have la fecha, the date, vocabulary for the date, los números, numbers, preguntas básicas y respuestas, basic questions and responses, saludos, despedidas y frases básicas, greetings, farewells, and basic phrases. So the question that we're getting to today is ¿Cómo te llamas? What is your name? And we respond by saying me llamo, my name is, and inserting our name. Okay, so that's sample vocab sheet. Also, greetings, farewells, and basic phrases. We will be getting to these pretty soon. So, saludos, greetings, hola, buenos días, buenas tardes, ¿qué tal, qué pasa, cómo estás, and despedidas, adiós, nos vemos, hasta luego, etc., etc. So again, in Google Classroom, you can always access these materials, unit guides, unit vocabulary. I will always have these on paper for you as well, but I like to keep them in Google Classroom in digital copies. Let's move on to EMC. EMC is the course curriculum website that I use for my class. We have one more year left of it, and then we will probably change curriculums. Again, this is third block's join code. So if you're in fifth block, you have a different code. I'm in block 3 Google Classroom right now. Okay, so when you log in, you'll notice that you have right here, this is just a mock assignment. When you log in, you won't see this. I didn't assign it to you. I assigned it to kind of my little incognito account, but I just want to show you what it looks like. So when you log into EMC Passport, you sign in, you build an account, it'll tell you if you have any assignments. So again, this is a mock assignment setup. It'll tell us up here that we have one, assignment that's due, whatever. And to do your assignment, you click on it right here, and it's going to pull up the assignment that we have due. This one's called Cognados y Profesiones, cognates and professions. So, indica la letra de la foto que corresponde con la profesión. So this is from Unit 1, but it's activity 33, so we're a little ways into the unit here, but what it's asking us to do is select a picture that corresponds with these statements, and these are all cognates. So if you look at these words right here, remember a cognate is a word that looks similar in Spanish and English. So Es veterinario. He's a veterinarian is what it's saying. I would say that's probably letter C. Número 2. Es actor de televisión. That's probably this guy right here. Television actor. Es dentista. That looks like her. Es dentista. That would be letter A. And es policía. He's a police officer. That looks like it would be the letter D. So let's submit our answers and see what we came out with. You answered 4 out of 4 correctly. Yay! Aplauso para profe. Sí, muy bien. So that is a little bit about EMC. Okay, we'll practice on there from time to time. I like to do a lot of games too, not just like cut and dry assignments like that. I do a lot of Kahoot, Gimkit, quizzes, Quizlet lives, things like that, right? But these ones are usually assigned for points, EMC. Flipgrid, we talked a little bit about that. That is the code to join, again, block 3 Flipgrid. So if you're in block 5, you'll have a different code. Duolingo, let's talk real quickly about Duolingo. I really strongly recommend my students setting up a Duolingo account. It is a great platform for practicing Spanish. If you put in like 5 minutes a day on Duolingo, I cannot stress enough how great your Spanish will progress independent from Spanish class. Okay, I think this is me in my French class right here. So let's see if, do I have a Spanish account here? Yeah, I do. So let's just go into like the intro unit for Spanish. I'll show you real quick what it looks like. A man. So basically what I have to do here is I can cheat and be like, oh, okay, the word a in Spanish, un, is what I'm looking for. The word for man in Spanish what I'm looking for is hombre. Un hombre. It tells me I'm right, and you can see my green bar for progress moves across the screen.
Yo soy una mujer.
Yo soy una mujer. Subject pronoun, yo. I. So it wants you to type this in English now. Am.
Soy.
Soy, I am.
Soy una.
Una, I am a
mujer.
Mujer, woman. So it just wants you to type this in English now. And basically what happens here is there's so much repetition in Duolingo that after completing the first module, you will remember that yo is I, because you're going to be exposed to it several times. And soy, you're going to remember that soy is I am. Okay, because the first, in the introductory module, the introductory level has 5 modules, and it really exposes you to repetition with these words. Okay, so you can start by cheating and clicking on the words. Otherwise, I mean, there's no way that you're going to really learn without clicking to see what they mean. But after a while, let your memory take over and help you with it. Okay, so Duolingo, you can join Duolingo by clicking on the Duolingo icon here in Materiales del Curso. And finally, I have my course syllabus here. This is an obsolete course syllabus, so I'm not going to click on it right now. You'll see the one that I'm working on for class. It's not quite finalized because I still have to put this video in it. Okay, but for now, I lay out some procedures for what I want, class to look like. Nearpod, will be using Nearpod to connect students in class to students at home, so we'll all be on the same platform on our computers when we are in class time. Okay, a few classroom etiquette things for when you're here in person. Every 3 days you'll be in person, and some etiquette things for when you're distance learning. Notice they have a lot in common. For example, check Google Classroom daily. That's where all of your assignments will be posted, regardless of if you're in person or distance. Okay? If you're distance learning, remember, you have to be in Zoom. Okay? Don't just say, oh, I'm on Nearpod for the day. You also have to be in Zoom so that I can see your face. Do attendance. Okay? Kind of ties in with this 5% participation points with warm-ups, things like that. If you're, regardless of if you're in person or distance, you have to arrive promptly. Okay? Class starts, first block is 8:20, second block is, 9:54, third block is 11:52. I can't quite remember the schedule, but fifth block 1:36, I believe. I may be wrong, it's been a while, but again, you have to arrive either in person or via Zoom promptly. Okay? If you're in class, remember you have to wear your mask at all times and practice social distancing. So again, we'll be going over this in class, but I just want to show you the syllabus right now. How you're graded. 5% of your grade is participation stuff, okay? When we do our warm-ups on Flipgrids and Padlets like that, exit slips I might have on Google Forms, those are 5% of your grade just for being here and participating. 20% of your grade are your daily assignments and quizzes, what I call formative assessments, so ed puzzles. If you do a note-taking assignment that you hand in, EMC passport stuff, that's all 20% of your grade. And then the bulk of your points are the summative assessments, the speaking exams, the listening exams, the interpersonal, presentational, and interpretive. We'll talk about what all of that means as class goes on. So this is a syllabus. It's a work in progress right now, but it will be finalized by the first day of class, I promise. Wow. I just don't know how else to say it, guys, except for yo estoy muy, muy emocionado. Very excited again to be with you guys, to accompany you on this quest to acquire the Spanish language. And I am so looking forward to getting to know you throughout the semester. Hasta pronto, compañeros. Hasta pronto.